Hello everyone, this is your average 1000 hours in Town of Salem 2 all any player here, and today I've decided to make a tier list video. It's almost been a month since the new rework of Trickster, Necropassing and a whole new update dropped, so I've decided to make a tier list video since the all any game has changed quite significantly, mostly because of Necropassing. And because I've seen plenty of tier lists which I quite couldn't agree with. Then again, I'm gonna be basing mine off of just all any, and also, well, from my personal experience of the 200 games that I've played this season. So let's get to it! Alright, let's not waste any time and let's start this tier list. Starting with Admirer. Admirer hasn't changed in any way, shape or form during this patch. It's still kinda weak. I'll put it in D tier. Amnesiac, F tier. I mean, it's basically the second role of selecting, so yeah, put it in F. Arsonist is the most chill neutral killing in the game, I would say. It's still very difficult to win as them, especially now in this patch. I actually haven't seen a single Arsonist win in the past 200 games I've played. So I'm gonna put it at C, because it's still a neutral kill, it's still alone, it's still difficult to win as. Baker, funny enough, it used to be F, but I think that little small change where they don't starve anymore if there's less than 3 people alive made it actually quite good. I think it's actually a C tier. It's better than what it used to be. I know it's very small, I know people are gonna disagree with me on it, but I believe that you can basically play this as a survivor in a way, as long as, you know, you get to the end and there's not a majority of town or coven. Berserker as well hasn't changed in any way, shape or form. The big positive of the Berserker is that the Coven Leader cannot kill you anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. I put it in B. Bodyguard is probably the least fun town protective to play as, especially with Necropassing now being a thing. Illusionist, Hexmaster, Necromancer, all pretty much counter you, so you don't get to kill the target, and or in case of Necromancer, you just die to it. I put it on D. It's almost borderline F for me because it's so unsatisfying to play as, but it's still good at killing neutral evils, neutral killings, so I'll still put it in D. Cleric is the most reliable town protective since nothing can get past you except for obviously the unstoppable attacks. I put Cleric in A. Very solid town protective. Conjurer now with Coven Leader is absolutely cracked. If you have a Coven Leader on your team, Conjurer is basically a free kill. As long as you have a Jinx or a Ritualist that you can swap around, or if you just start with Coven Leader Conjurer, you're guaranteed a free kill plus a swap into something powerful like the Ritualist. It's an easy A tier, almost S. Coroner actually got kind of weaker in this patch, especially recently since it got nerfed where you cannot track it where it visits the graveyard and the person they visit, so you cannot confirm coroners easily. And yes, people say like, oh, you can find multiple killers because Necropassing and they can swap book. Well, the problem with that is majority of the time they'll stick to one very reliable Coven killing and they won't move that book around. So you're kind of the same but weaker. I'm gonna put you on C. Almost, I'll put it on C, I'll think about it later. Coven Leader is absolutely cracked. Coven Leader got basic defense, can't die to Vigis. Never has the book, so now you can actually find them suspicious, but you'll never find the blood. Can swap out 2 people with the role that of you choosing. It's, I will say it's S tier. For this patch, I think it's S tier for now. Crusader, also very reliable, just like the Cleric, except, you know, you can kill your target as well. It hasn't really changed in any way, shape or form. I'll put it on A as well, just like the Cleric. Deputy is now unique, so there's only one of you, so no longer Wild West is possible. May you rest in peace, Wild West. And also, well, there's no longer day 2, 3 cutscenes happening, you know, so that's good. I'll put you on B. It's a very solid role still. Doomsayer is kind of hard to judge because you just have to be a skilled player to make this work. You have to get 3 roles. Nothing has really changed in any way, shape or form. Put in the middle on the C. Dreamweaver got completely reworked. I totally forgot to mention that, but it's still kind of on the weak side. Unless you have a Voodoo Master to boot, it's kind of weak, and people will replace it immediately if you have a Coven Leader or give you the book. Put it on D. Enchanter is still pretty solid, still does its thing. You will almost never get the book unless you have a team of Potion Master, Ritualist, and Hexmaster, for example. But it's still really good at framing people and altering will. You're a big counter to the Admirer. Put you on B. Executioner is honestly very anti-fun for other people, I would say, because Town could do the right thing, hang the correct person, and still get consequences for it because they were an X target. Execution is very unhealthy for the game, and I really do hope they rework it. Kind of like the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor modded, if you've heard about it, is an amazing replacement. So if they brought the Inquisitor instead of the Execution in the main game, I'd be thrilled. I'll put it on C. Hexmaster is incredibly powerful because you can give it book to give it complete astral attack, so trappers and bodyguards can't stop you anymore. But at the same time, you're also still a very strong late game if you don't have the book, because you can make the Hex Bomb. I'll put it on A. Illusionist, I would say arguably go weaker, because you can pass the book to other people that can't really die when attacking. But it's not weak by any means. I'll put it in the same place as the Enchanter, because they're kind of like the opposites. Investigator suffers greatly in this patch, in my opinion. Especially if you give the book to Necromancer, which cannot even be found with blood. So if you have a Necromancer Coven killing, and there's no neutral killers, you can be kind of useless. I think Investigator's the worst right now. I'll put it on F. I'm very dissatisfied with the Investigator. Jailer, still extremely strong. One of the best town rolls in the game. Not changed in any way, shape, or form. Easy A tier. Borderline S, I would say. Jester, easy S. If Jester didn't exist, people would freely just vote everyone however they please. Jester prevents the bloodthirsty mob of a town and coven to like fall guilty on every single person that's opt. So it's an easy S tier in my opinion. Jinx, first I thought it was insanely powerful and put it on S tier as a glow up, but now that I've played with it a little bit, I'll put it in B. Jinx the book is extremely powerful for double kills because you're a miniature werewolf, but well, after I've played a couple of games as Jinx myself, I noticed it's not that consistent, but it's still really strong. I put it in B. Lookout, again, I would say one of the best town rolls in the game. Easy A tier, almost an S, I would say. I think it's one of the best town investigator rolls outside of Seer, even though Seer got nerfed severely a couple of times. I'll still put it in A. Marshall is an S. I know they reworked this, so he has 2 tribunals with 2 uppers at a time. So you can hang up to 4 people in 2 days. So you have a lesser impact immediately, but you can do it over 2 days. It's still insanely strong. I will say that it's the most powerful town roll in the game, but that's just my personal opinion. Mayor, it's kind of lackluster. You just reveal and then, you know, you hope that you can lead the town for 1 day and then more often than not just die the following day. Put it in B or C. Put you in B. B because you're instantly confirmed and because you can lead towns. I'll put you in B. Medusa is insanely situational now. Like, you almost never see Medusa unless you spawn with it and you don't have a chance to like swap it out. Like, if you can swap it out by any means, majority of the players will swap out Medusa because you kind of don't need it anymore. But I put it on C because it's better than the Dreamweaver, but I don't think it's better than these 3. Monarch, still extremely good, knighting players, and nothing has changed about it. Put it in B. I think it's just as good as Maya. Necromancer is an easy S tier. Necromancer's got the biggest glow up of all the coven in my opinion. Can be found with blood, can be found suspicious if you're holding book, you cannot die to rampages, you cannot die to bodyguards, you cannot die to traps. You are a menace with the book. Necromancer, I personally believe, should get a nerf, where in day 1, well, night 1, they're not allowed to use the ghoul, because Necromancer with ghoul is overpowered, especially on the early days. S tier. And then later on, let me add on, later on, you can just give away the book to somebody else to use a corpse, berserker, werewolf, serial killer, you name it, or be coven support with cleric, crusader, bodyguard, etc. Easy S tier. Pirate, a total chaos roll, just like the Jester. I'll put it in B. It's a very mid roll, because you're honestly hoping and using RNG to win your fights majority of the time, or just go and disconnect the play and pick sidestep for an easy win. Plague Bearer, I would say, is the weakest of the APOC rolls. It has the least impact, I would say, when it comes out. I'll put it on D, honestly. It's not that good. Poisoner is still very strong, especially with Necropassing, since now you're no longer, what was it, 4th on the book order, so you no longer get the book early, so you can actually utilize your poison, and, well, you roll block wherever you want. Easy A tier. Potion Master is easy S. Still incredibly powerful with being able to reveal everyone. You really just improved, because the patch before, which made it a lot worse, is that Necromancer and Hexmaster were behind you, so you'd get the book before them. But with Necropassing, this is never an issue anymore. Easy S tier. Now we have the Prosecutor. Prosecutor also got nerfed, they can only do once per day. It's still extremely strong though, don't get me wrong, easy A tier. Psychic, well, Psychic, still very good TI, put it in B tier, not much has changed with it. Retributionist, I would arguably say got stronger because Medusa is less relevant in this mode, but it's still very situational, I cannot put it above C. Ritualist is an easy S because the Potion Master Ritualist combo that's happening a lot now because of Coven Leader. Whenever Coven Leader exists, they will 99% of the time try and get Ritualist on their team with Potion Master. It's that busted. Easy S tier, can kill anyone in the game unless they're a transport APOC. Seer, oh, it's got nerfed several times. It's still an S tier in my opinion though. I know it's been nerfed like 3 different times, but being able to have a 1-for-1 constantly is incredibly powerful. Easy S tier. Serial Killer, funny enough, it was one of the least winning neutral killings last season, and nothing has changed about it. I still think it's pretty weak. Put it on D. Sheriff, you know, a lot of people hate the Sheriff, but I think it's better than the Investigator by a mile. That's the personal opinion though. I put it on D because it's not all that good, but it's also not bad. Shroud actually was one of the higher winning neutral killings last season. It hasn't changed in any way, shape, or form. I'll put it right next to the Serial Killer. Socialite got completely reworked as well, just like the Trickster, just like the Dreamweaver, but it works in a... It's kind of like a reverse lookout, I would say. It's an easy B tier. It's extremely good at getting information. You can actually stop kills as Socialite. I might even put it on A because it's so strong. It's easy to... Yeah, I'll put it on A. Easy to confirm yourself a Socialite. You can prevent kills if you're effective. And you can keep people safe and confirm like other people that are visiting. Easy A tier. Soul Collector I think is one of the chillest APOC roles. You don't have to stress too much about it. You can fake claim majority of the things without a problem. I would put it the same tier as Berserker. Spy is insanely situational, exactly like the Medusa I would say. But it's actually quite fun to play as it, unless, well, there's a Plague Bearer in the game. If there's a Plague Bearer, you might as well leave the game. No, actually, don't leave the game. But you get what I'm saying. I'll put it in D. Tavern Keeper, majority of the time when you rollblock people, you harm more town than you harm evils, but you're very easy to confirm yourself, especially if you don't roll Climb Investigator, so you don't get suspected as Poisoner. So it's an easy C tier. Tracker, really good TI. I'll put it in... Put it in B because there's a lot of roles that just doesn't visit. Trapper is a very massive hybrid TK/TI, I would say. You can get information, you can get kills. Majority of the times you'll get info or you'll die if that trap's still being active so you can get killed later. I'll put it in B. I will say it's weaker than Cleric and Crusader, but it's much better than Bodyguard, in my personal opinion. Trickster is basically town protective now. I always just claim TP as Trickster because it kind of works that way. I'll put it in B. It's very satisfying to absorb a huge attack and then unleash it on an enemy. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna change it to A, but no. B is a good place. Veteran's my beloved, my favorite role in the game. Put it in B. You also struggle a little bit, but not as much as some other roles, like the Bodyguard, for example. I'll put it on B. If you're good at baiting, you can get a lot of kills still. And you can always lead town aggressively without the fear of, you know, just getting killed unless, like, a Berserker attacks you or a Werewolf attacks you. Like, Coven can't really touch you as long as you're alert. Unless there's a Poisoner. If there's a Poisoner, well, that's tough. But majority of the time, Poisoner doesn't have books, so you're good to go. Vigilante is still very strong in my opinion. 3 shots, 3 bullets, but it's all any. I put it also in B. Almost on A I would say, but I'll put it on B. Voodoo Master, extremely strong for getting majority. I'll put it on A. Insanely strong. Werewolf, really hard to get wins with this season. I've seen a couple of windows, so I'm not gonna call it the worst. But is it better than Shroud or Serial Killer? Now I'll put it on D. I'll put it with the rest of them. I don't think one is better than the other personally because they all have their flaws. Waddling, I'll say, is an easy A tier. You can read Whispers, you can claim Lookout, you can claim Tracker because of the Necropassing. So you no longer are restricted to getting the book early and fear that you have to give out info that's already known. It's an easy A tier in my opinion. Almost an S, but I don't think it deserves an S tier. and in which I will say still belongs in S tier. It always belonged in S tier in my opinion, it still belongs there. The amount of sheer information you get out of that role, I don't think it deserves anything other than the S tier. And yeah, I think this would be my tier list. If you agree or disagree, you can always comment below. Thank you for watching, and take care everyone. Peace!